guy who may seem super talented and may have a lot of talented abilities, but a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these so-called creative abilities that they have come from demons. So I just want to put that out there.
Exactly. So you think that you call them geniuses and think that they are super intelligent, and you worship them as if they have some high level genius and just are phenoms. And that's not the case at all. A lot of them were sacrificed to Satan from the womb. Their parents were Satanists, and they gave their child to Satan from birth. Do the research on a lot of these guys you think are geniuses. Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein. Do the research on them. Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was used for all the elect, for the CIA, all that. Top demon. Guess who he called on? Yahweh. Jehovah. I got more. And I want to just run through this real quick, if you don't mind. I'm going, and this is the key thing I wanted to bring out. The next page, page 130, under the Illuminati 2, is demonology. Demonology. Let me run through this real quick. It says, the secret of the ancient Egyptians and their modern disciples, the Freemasons, is the art. Don't forget, you got your pyramid, the Great Pyramid, Giza, on your dollar bill. So these are the gods they're worshiping, brothers and sisters, with the all-seeing eye at the pinnacle. The same gods of Egypt, the people who've enslaved us, the gods that were used to enslave our people and to afflict pain on us, came from ancient Egypt also. So our so-called founding country, America, the country we think is the land of the free, was really an enslavement place for God's people. The all-seeing eye is them seeing, they can see. They're the enlightened ones who can see in the dark, but we're the ones asleep in the dark. Not understanding that these are the gods we learn are the same gods that were inflicting pain and suffering on our people. That's why we're dealing with pain and suffering in this world, in these countries right now. It's the same ideology. It says, the secret of the ancient Egyptians and their modern disciples, the Freemasons, is the art of demonology for gaining power, mainly through the devil, Jehovah. In the Royal Ark degree, the Freemasons acknowledge that the devil is the guise of Jabulon. In his sacred lord, the name Jabulon being a composite of Yahweh or Yahweh, Baal, and Osiris. It tell you he chants it, and it says Albert Pike. Remember the lesson we went on in Albert Pike? They got a statue, this top Mason, not too far from the White House, who's not even he wasn't even an elected official. Albert Pike, who Jewish guy, created the KKK. It says Albert Pike discusses Kabbalistic Masonic significance of Yahweh or Jehovah is the great length in his book Morals and Dogma. Morals and Dogma. First paragraph there. Let me read on. The name Yahweh or Jehovah or Jehovah, if you're saying it in English, was injected into the text of the Old Testament by the Pharisees and others who practiced Babylonian Satanism, the precursor to Kabbalism and Talmudism. For those who don't believe the Talmud is satanic, it proclaims that Christ is in hell boiling in excrement and in semen. And that's in Gittin 56b, 57a. An agreement was forged between the Jewish Masoretes and the Catholic Church in 1000 AD to change the name of the God in Hebrew Old Testament to the pagan name Yahweh. Jehovah via the Tetragrammaton. And you can find this on remnantradio.org/archives/sacred_name.htm. He gives you a source where you can actually go into the history to when the Jewish people got in league with the Catholics to change the Most High's name in the text we received coming out of slavery. So the stories are correct. The spirit of the book is correct. But they want us to attribute all the greatness of our records to their God, Yahweh, or Satan himself. That's why we don't say Yah. Yah is Yahweh. We don't say Yah because Yah is Yabulin or Jabulin, a name you learn when you're getting high in masonry, and now they want to reveal names of Satan, the true God of this government, to the elite or his so-called elect who would bow and reverence him for gain in this world. So some people say, well, I've been blessed by calling this name. Things have happened right for me. You can't tell me this feeling. Listen, you got to separate that from the God who knew you from the womb. The God that knew you from the womb when you were born, you didn't know a name, but he guided you. So stop that and thinking that everything, that all your blessings came from this God you're calling. That Satan tried to trick you into not represent the God he has something against. More. It says, this explains Rosenthal's, another Jewish person, saying, we are amazed by the Christians' stupidity in receiving our teachings and propagating them as their own. Let me repeat this. Rosenthal, yes, he's one of the Jewish Zionists who came and was explaining about the elders of Zion, their true mission in this earth. Eventually they got rid of him. Mm-hmm. But he says, we are amazed by the Christian stupidity in receiving our teachings and propagating them as their own. Like, how can you believe us? This is what he's saying. When we don't respect Christ. We don't like him. That's what they're saying. These Jewish people don't respect Christ. The Jewish people don't respect him. You understand? So now they're teaching the Christians not to respect the true Christ and tricking them into following their God. And they did this by invoking and injecting the name. And it's like witchcraft. It's like sorcery. You start saying the name. You notice people in church, they be going into their convulsions and shaking and all that. When they saying certain names, they are invoking demons into existence. Don't forget, everything was created with the word. Words are very important. Now it so happened that I have the PDF, and you can get it, called The International Jew, Volume 4. I'm not going to have time to go through it today, maybe at a later time. But in this particular work, listen to this clearly, The International Jew by Henry Ford. It says the Christian cannot read his Bible except through Jewish spectacles. And therefore, they read it wrong. Let me tell you its purpose. Its purpose, no sooner as we started rising as a people, the Jewish people linked in with Martin Luther King and started funding Martin Luther King against Malcolm. They created the NAACP because why? If we can't stop it, because it's not time to destroy them altogether yet, let's control it. And let's control it with our spin on Christ. Even though we don't believe in Christ, we'll tell them to take up the content of Christ that allow us to beat them over the head and not fight back. So let's fund the side that don't understand we kicking their backs out. You understand? instead of trying to get into the side that opposed to us, that won't let us in. This is how they operated. So they say, listen, we can't spin Malcolm X side because they're just, listen, we want to be separated from y'all. We can't spin or get into the Black Panther side the way we want to because they're using guns to protect their neighborhoods. And it's more them than us. You understand? Into their neighborhoods because we may have about 2-3 white cops walking the beat at that time. It was predominantly whites. But you got hundreds of guys walking around with machine guns and weapons. So we can't deal with that. So let's get on the side. This articulate guy is just out of college, Martin Luther King. Let's use this young man. Let's link in and finance his side so that we can have an internal fighting of these people. And let's use Jesus. Even though we don't believe in Christ, we're going to concentrate on the love and docile and the forgiving spirits and just have them totally deal with that and not the other side of the understanding of Christ, like when he went into the temple and beat us out of the temple. We don't want them to deal with that Christ. Going back to the name, and this is what blew me away, and I'm glad we received this book because the last statement that was made in this book blew me away. I need you to read the last paragraph when it says the wise Solomon.
The wise Solomon asked, what is God's name?
The wise Solomon asked, what is the Most High's name?
And what is his son's name?
And what is his son's name?
If thou can tell.
If thou can tell.
Proverbs 30:4.
Go ahead.
God's name is Ahiah.
Is what?
Ahiah.
God's name is what?
God's name is Ahiah.
You mean to tell me that is written in the Illuminati too? God's name is what?
Ahiah.
Go ahead.
Sometimes translated Ayah, meaning I am.
Meaning what?
Meaning I am.
Meaning I am. Go ahead.
That is the name given to Moses along with the law. And the Most High said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you. This is my memorial unto all generations. I am the Most High thy power. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
I don't know this person. We never met this person. But we thank the Most High for the truth. Ahiah, Ashar Ahiah is his name. The Illuminatis. He's even breaking down the Illuminati and what they're saying. Now, I have more before we open this up. Where's the other book, The Angels? I have another book, and I'm not going to go into the title of this particular book because I don't want, it's just, it's enough people going to all these things. I just want to pull some of these things out that the other people be going into so that you'll know what's really going on. And a brother years ago, around, I think a brother, Ayai Sharak, about 1999, after things fell out and we were no longer following the old things, we were into the new teachings of Christ. He said, man, you need to see this book. It's information